Okay, this video is about Jan Matejko, the great artist from Poland, one of the great European artists. He lived from 1838 to 1893. I had just been reminded of his paintings when I did the story of St. Cyril and Methodius yesterday for a video, and I'm like, gosh, I got to review Jan Matejko, and I loved his painting of Copernicus and Stanczyk. So he's the most popular painter ever from Poland. He was a self-taught history painter, and he was a Polish patriot. He loved Poland, and he lived, in the 1800s during the time of the Polish partition, where Poland had been separated between Austria, and Germany or Prussia and Russia. And this was really the enslavement of the Polish people. And we're going to come back to that in a moment with one of his paintings called Rejtan. In a sense, Poland didn't even exist on the map in the 1800s. But Matejko was determined to keep Poland alive in the minds of the Polish people. As a young man, he had vowed to keep the glory of Poland alive, to resurrect the history of the nation. He was a painter with a mission. From the beginning, he knew what he wanted to accomplish, to shine a light on Polish history and to keep it alive for posterity. When he was young, he was so poor he could barely afford to buy paint for his artwork. And some people now have called Matejko the painter who kept Poland alive. Painting, in a sense, conveys a sense of a right to life, to respect, as it did in the Catholic Counter-Reformation. During the partition, the sellout trader rulers of Poland in the 1800s, they were harassing Matejko in Poland. But his paintings, meanwhile, in other countries, like in Paris, France, they were winning gold medals for their extraordinary artistry and storytelling abilities. He really helped the Polish people to learn and remember their history, and to clarify artistically their sense of destiny and identity. Poland celebrates the paintings of Matejko, and they're used on currency and in other sentings and in the school books, the history books, the science books, like with Copernicus. For hundreds and hundreds of years, Poland has been harassed by its neighbors, Germany, Austria, and Russia. And I understand what it's like because my father was from Ireland, and Ireland has been harassed by England for about 1,000 years. And I also understand this because my ex-wife was from Poland, and I have lots of Polish friends. I talk to them all the time, and so I'm very familiar with the Polish people. I love the Polish people. And one learns a lot of history from art, music, reading of history, and talking to people. In the schools, kids should be learning how to draw. It is a powerful school. Most people don't remember anything from grade school and high school except how to drive and typing. They should also be learning how to draw. In the 1800s, the unveiling of a painting was like a premiere opening of a movie, and it drew big crowds, the paintings of Matejko. Krakow is the cultural center of Poland, and the School of Fine Arts in Krakow is the Jan Matejko Academy. This is Jan Matejko when he was older, a year before he died, and here is a painting of him, self-portrait as a young man. Now here is a very interesting painting by Matejko. This is called Stanczyk, and Stanczyk was the court jester to the king Sigmund. All right, and this is in the 1500s. And Stanczyk was well known, so the people of Poland were partying at this time. And Stanczyk was well known for being very well read. He was a Renaissance educated man, and he knew, the classics, and he was witty, intelligent, and funny. He provides humorous satire at the court of King Sigmund the Old. He was the funny fool who was actually a wise sage. And this painting is divided in three parts. There's the outside window, there's the party going on in here, and then there's Stanczyk sitting in a chair brooding and thinking. And it's kind of like one of those religious triptychs, three-part paintings. The red color of the party and of Stanczyk implies that they should be together, but they're not. They're separated. And actually the curtain sets a fold here, or a door, and it puts, Stanczyk into like a frame to emphasize him. It's interesting. Very skillfully done, this painting. And it was done when Matejko was very young. He's only about 24 years old when he made this masterpiece of a painting. Stanczyk has his back to the party, so they're quite separate in mood and activity. The dwarf here carrying a lute is a sign of decadence for that time. The comet falling here from the sky is an omen, a bad omen, if you will, and if only the king had more comet sense. Stanczyk, dressed like a court jester, sitting in the other room, is preoccupied. He's got inward body language, a concerned look on his face. And he's not in the mood for joking. His rattle has dropped to the floor. On the table is a letter that says Poland has lost its battle to Smolensk. And Stanczyk is a sad patriot. He knows that despite all his smarts, he has no real power to save Poland. The wisdom that he imparts flies over the head of the king and the people. He's like a Cassandra of ancient Greek times. He can see the future, but no one cares. Stańczyk in the painting looks, of course, like Jan Matejko. Both are Polish historians, both long for the freedom of Poland, both represent the conscience of Poland. Days later in the streets, some ruffians accosted Stańczyk, and they stole some of his clothes. They ripped them off. And King Sigismund laughed at Stańczyk, but Stańczyk said, "I have been stripped of my clothes, but you have been stripped of Smolensk, and that is far worse." My wife, by the way, gave me the nickname of Stańczyk, and she meant it as an insult, multiple simultaneous insults. He's kind of a dwarf. He's only, I'm only 5'9", so she teases me that I'm short. He's a party pooper. He doesn't want to drink. He's kind of paranoid, always worried about things in the future. He's a nerd, always reading. And so she means it as an insult, but I consider it a compliment. Stańczyk was the smartest man in Poland, and he's the one who knew the truth for Poland and tried to do the best he could for Poland and for the people. And he was good, well-read, and wise. Yeah, I'll be happy to take that nickname any day. So here is the painting of Copernicus, who recognized that the Earth goes around the sun rather than the opposite. Painted, of course, by Jan Matejko, bathed in divine light here. You can see a Polish cathedral in the background, the river of Vistula from Poland in the background as well. He's got a compass in his hand. This is more of a measuring instrument for the planets, and it sort of looks like a Christian cross. There's the map of the Earth rotating around the sun. And Copernicus is, in a sense, portrayed as like a saint of science. This book is in all the textbooks, okay? And it shows the scientist as a hero, like a saint. And it's a Copernican inversion where the perspective on things takes a big, almost upside-down change, a eureka moment, an academic orgasm. Okay, and this painting is in the Jagiellonian, it's hard for me to say it, University Museum in Krakow, and it's a symbol of Jagiellonian University, as it should be. Now here's a very famous painting of Matejko that got him into big trouble, because during the 1800s, Poland was still under partition. The partition was from approximately 1795 until the end of World War I in 1918. And this was painted in 1866 when there were still a lot of people around who had sold out the country of Poland and benefited from the money of selling it out into the triple partition, whereby it was controlled by Russia, Prussia, which is Germany we think of nowadays, and Austria. Okay, and so these are the elites who are traitors to the country of Poland and have sold out the country. And here's the common man, Rejtan, and they are now about to make a vote on the partition in 1795 to sell out Poland and give it over to foreign powers. So money from foreign powers is selling out the country of Poland. And Rejtan, this brave patriot man, he blocks the door, because once they exit the door, that is their approval sign that Poland will be partitioned. And Rejtan says, no, don't. He physically blocks the door, lays on the floor, he tears his shirt apart, and he says, don't do it. Step on me. Kill me, but do not kill our motherland, Poland. Okay, so it's a very heroic gesture. Okay, and the people of that time, they were very pissed off at Matejko for putting it into a painting. And this was a very famous painting. Everybody wanted to see it, showing what traitors they were to the country of Poland. After they threatened him and harassed him, they retaliated against Matejko. He made another painting called The Death Sentence of Matejko. I'll show that on the next slide. The painting itself now is in Warsaw. Some of the things you ask yourself is what holds a country together? The religion. The Poles were fiercely Catholic. The language. Polish language is notoriously difficult, and if you speak it, you're in the club for the most part. Cultural heritage of writers like Henry Sienkiewicz, who wrote Quo Vadis, artists like Jan Matejko here, of course, composers like the great Chopin. Okay, so Rejtan blocks the door and says, no, 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 step on me, kill me, but do not kill Poland. Okay, so when they were harassing him, meanwhile, by the way, Matejko's paintings were sent all over Europe into competitions, especially Paris, France, and he would win gold medals for the greatness of his paintings. So he didn't even have enough money in 1867 to go to the Paris, France competition. But while all these guys were hassling him, the powerful sellout scumbags in Poland, Matejko made a painting called The Death Sentence of Jan Matejko. And then he sold this painting, and he took the money to go to France, to Paris, France, where his painting won another gold medal in their competitions. And Matejko was becoming famous all over Europe. So he finally, he's able to sell his paintings for some more money, and he got enough money he could buy more art supplies, so he'd make more make more paintings. the Austrian police, they banned Matejko from unveiling his paintings in the partitioned Poland because they didn't like the fact he was showing that they're a bunch of scumbags enslaving the Polish people. So his next painting he made was called The Union of Lublin. And it's basically the union of Poland and Lithuania. It was done in the city of Lublin, which is in Poland, and it's really the Commonwealth of Poland and Lithuania. It was done by Matejko in 1869. He won another gold medal for this painting. His fame was growing over Europe, and the point of it is Poland needs an ally to survive, okay? Because Germany and Russia are just not going to leave Poland alone. So Poland needs an ally to strengthen them so that they can tell their allies to piss off, leave them alone, and they can live in peace and have their freedom. Here's one of his paintings of St. Cyril and Methodius. I talked about them in a recent lecture. Basically, they're two Christian monks. St. Cyril is the inventor of the Cyrillic alphabet, and they sort of brought the gospel to the Slavs, to Eastern Europe and Russia. If you're interested in learning about Polish history, this is the best book. It's by James Michener. It's called Poland, and the entire book goes through all the history of Poland through how it's perceived by a family in Poland. It's a magnificent book. I read it cover to cover very quickly. I loved it. Okay, next painting here is called Skarga's Sermon, or the Sermon of Skarga by Matejko, 1864. So Piotr Skarga is castigating and scolding the King of Poland. And the King of Poland at this time was a bit of a phony. He was from Sweden, and he sort of wanted to be in Sweden. And the Polish wanted their own king. There's a lot of symbolism in this painting. For example, the aristocrat is sleeping, like they just didn't care. As long as they had a high position in society, many of them didn't care about the rest of the people, okay? And you can see this king's not too happy to be hearing the Sermon of Skarga. And there's a glove thrown down on the floor symbolizing an upcoming civil war in Poland, okay? And the strength of the Polish people, you can see it in several parts. Their Christianity, as we talked before, it unites them, it disciplines them, it unifies their culture, gives them shared values, shared understanding of history and idioms, shared events, Saints' Days, Church Day, and everything that goes with that, Christmas, Easter. Their language, history, and culture, of course, unite them. Their hands-on skill. If anybody knows Polish people, I know tons of them, they're very good at doing physical things. They're great contractors, builders, plumbers, electricians. Like if you have a Polish friend and you have a problem, he can fix it, okay? I bought a reverse osmosis filter for my house. I'm trying to call somebody to put it in. My Polish friend goes, oh, I can put that in 5 seconds, and puts it in real fast. Okay, some attempts at Polish preservation have been very good. There used to be a lot more Polish people in the USA. A lot of them left when America started going down in the garbage can, over the course of the last 10 years. But there's Polish schools, and if you're at all Polish, you should send your kids to a Polish school. But what are some of the weaknesses of the Polish people? What I've seen as weaknesses is they tend to be jealous of each other. I couldn't believe it. Like when I was writing my books, my wife's Polish doctor friends, they were so jealous of me, they wouldn't even look at my book. Not all of them. One of them at least looked at it and gave me some good, honest feedback. She was very nice about it. But most of them were really jealous of me. And I was like, you're so petty, kind of an attitude, well, if I grew up in America, I could go to Harvard. And I'm like, instead of helping me out, or you shouldn't be so jealous of me. The other thing is the Polish women, a lot of them have been corrupted by feminism. And that's very bad, because feminism, the purpose of it is to destroy families, to abort babies, to get divorced, okay? Feminism is the destruction of women and society and Christianity. Feminism is based on Satanism. I gave an entire previous lecture about that. So let's continue with Matejko. Okay, here's Matejko's painting, The Battle of Grunwald, when Poland and Lithuania unified together, defeated the Germans, the Teutonic Knights, in 1410. This painting by Matejko in 1878. And during World War II, the Polish had to hide this from the Germans, who were trying to destroy it. They sent the Gestapo to find it, but the Polish kept it hidden, and a couple Polish men died for their refusal to reveal the whereabouts of the painting. But they saved the painting. And here's another painting that pissed off the Germans and a lot of other people in Europe. It's King John III Sobieski sending news of victory to the Pope after the victory of the Battle of Vienna over the Ottoman Turks. It was in 1683, and this is sort of like the 200-year anniversary of it in 1883 when Matejko made this painting. There's John Sobieski. And so, see, the Germans wanted to claim that they were the ones who had defeated the Ottoman Turk, the Muslims, okay, from taking over Europe, because once Vienna fell, they fell. Much more of Europe would have fallen to the Ottoman Turks. But that Sobieski had saved the day. And so Sobieski was a true hero of the battle. Okay, so anyways, the Germans also wanted to get this painting away. And there's another painting too. It's called Homage to Prussia, where they show the Prussians having, surrendered, been conquered by the Polish. Okay, so they're still holding a grudge after the poor Polish, in World War II, trying to find that painting too. So anyways, this is a real famous guy, Sobieski, in the Polish world. Oh, here's just a painting about the alchemist. Alchemy was a big popular thing, for a long time in Europe. And I kind of like this painting in a sense that here's the worker guy, the engineer, if you will, trying to figure out how to create something useful. If he succeeds, maybe the pretty lady will reward him with her favors. But in the meantime, the well-dressed men coming to take a look are hoping to steal his ideas. Some are probably his friends, some of the onlookers, and maybe they're going to help him start a company or something, but there's still something funny about that painting. Okay, next painting here is the hanging of the Zygmunt Bell. And it's a symbol of freedom and a symbol of Poland's cultural renaissance. And note that Stańczyk became an iconic figure. And Matejko would put Stańczyk into other paintings. So here he's like startled by the noise of hearing the clap or clang and the bell. So he has a funny look on his face. And he's portrayed in a humorous way. At the time of Matejko's death, the bell of Zygmunt was rung in his honor. And here is the grave of Jan Matejko in Krakow. And he rightfully so is honored with a big prominent grave in Krakow, the cultural center of Poland. And a country's heroes, they should be remembered and honored and taught to the younger generation. That's how culture is maintained, civilization is maintained. So the next generation knows where it came from and understands the baseline that they can improve upon. So Jan Matejko was a magnificent person and a magnificent artist, and I hope you found this helpful, this video.